Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus still. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Gus.
Hi.
I missed you.
You missed me?
Yeah.
I missed all of you.
Just because I was gone for a week. I never watch the podcast if I'm not on it.
Because they're less entertaining without you on it?
Obviously. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I watched last week's and, man, I don't know what's going on with Chris. Should we...
I was worried about him. I don't know if he was having a stroke mid-podcast or if he was drunk.
Yeah,
so I learned something with Chris, is that when you're on the podcast, it sort of limits the Chrisness.
That's what
because you like shut him down or you ask him a new question and you steer him around. We just let him go.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
That was wild.
Wait, who was on last week?
Blaine, Chris, and then these two.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like chaos.
By the time the post show happened, I don't know what was happening with him.
The post show was a whole nother thing, Gus.
Yeah.
Chris kept trying to give us a signal because Blaine left for a second. He was trying to give us a signal for when Blaine was going to come back. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Blaine decided to go running through most of the podcast.
He ran all the way across the lot. Sorry, I'm eating.
Why are you eating?
I'm eating
hungry.
a fig bar. A prepackaged fig bar.
A little wasp bar.
Oh, this Lysol on this mic it is in my nostrils.
Mm-hmm. So, Mike, thank you, Mike. Mike takes the time to sanitize and disinfect all of the microphones right now.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to Broadcast who are all here.
Yes.
Skeleton crew version.
It's a really small crew here right now.
Thank you. Doing the Lord's work.
Oh, there's Mike.
Because we can't have more than 10 people currently, right?
Right.
Until tomorrow when you can have no people.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that's a good segue.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night/Wednesday, I think is when that starts.
This will be the last podcast from this set for a while.
Here's what we do. We each take a quarter of the set home.
Okay, go on.
So I'll take this part and I'll sit.
Okay, look at your shot. Okay, this is mine.
So
That's
I'm
yours.
going to need a hacksaw. I'm going to need some lights. And then I just set this up and film myself and we'll just cut them all together.
Okay.
You know what I think would be a funnier idea? Not that that's not funny.
Thank you.
I think they should take a still of the set with the furniture, nobody on it.
Clean plate.
And we each webcam in and they put our webcam on each of our spots.
Of like varying
head.
quality and lighting and graininess.
Would that be cool? Would you?
They both sound just as cool, Barbara. Both ideas are just as cool.
Oh, I miss people.
And like laughter and stuff.
So I feel laughter, miss laughter. I feel like I've been in lockdown already for at least a week.
Which is why you're so hairy.
I've not.
Just address it, Gavin.
Which part of me is bothering you, Jessica? You've already insulted my face. We're like 2 minutes in. It's classic.
All right, I'll tone it down
I
until
already
the
told
end.
you I'm Italian. It gets out of hand fast.
What are you going to do?
With my hair and stuff? Well, I
Yeah.
can take care of the beard. My hair, I don't know.
Well,
You want to cut it?
I did cut
with some
Chris's
scissors
hair.
on a stick.
You did cut
did.
Chris's hair.
I cut Chris's hair and I dyed Chris's hair. And that video will be out this week. I
it
believe
looks good.
Wednesday/Thursday on YouTube.
Yeah, it didn't look as bad as I thought it would.
So if you want a barber
There you go.
to come over
And that's why that video was made.
1,000 feet away. But I mean, we haven't really been quarantining for that long.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a week, right?
Well, a couple of us have been coming in. We tried to bulk shoot a couple of videos at the start of last week. And then we've been home, I guess, since
Like Wednesday.
Wednesday/Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But like already it feels like we're trying to adjust really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange because a lot of the podcast is in my mind when I come here. It's two things that I have to bring, right? It's like I bring like stories and shit that I read online, but then the other thing I bring is like weird interactions I have with people out and about in Austin. It's like, oh, well, I'm not having any weird interactions with people. Like the weird interaction I'm having now is my dog staring at me all day, like wondering why the fuck I'm not leaving. Like that's the extent of weird interaction I have.
They can't misbehave. I feel like it's so weird to even just go for a walk because everyone knows the same information. Like I've been walking down the pavement, the sidewalk, and people just like cross the street to get away from each other. It's bizarre.
yeah.
It's like
I had to go to
That's good though.
yeah.
it
They're
is
being
good.
mindful.
And some people don't, and they are running right at you, and I have to stand on people's front yards to get out of the way.
I had to go to the grocery store this morning because I needed to hoard a bunch of stuff. I'm
course.
kidding. I had to go to the grocery store. I needed my regular weekly allotment of groceries. and I went down there pretty early this morning, I guess, like right after they opened, and it was interesting because, of course, you have to get in line, and like they have designated markers on the ground, like stand here when you're in line to get into the store, and then there's like employees going up and down, like you two are too close together. Like,
wow.
like spacing
I'm glad they're
out.
doing that, though, because some places
yeah.
don't have any monitoring of that.
And then you get in, and it's like when you get to like the produce section, it's all like kind of narrowed and weird. So it's like, I need to get from here to there, but there's someone in the way. So I need to go around this cooler in like a really roundabout way to go get my fucking lettuce.
That happened to me. I was at Walgreens this week because I had to pick up a prescription. And I was like, oh, I'll go in and get just like a couple essentials that I don't need to go to the grocery store for, like a gallon of milk and like something else. And the aisles there are a little bit more narrow than they are in grocery stores. Mm-hmm. And there was a woman who was like restocking stuff. And so I literally went around an entire aisle to come back just to go in the aisle where she was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just want to avoid her at all costs. But then I'm like, what if there's someone else that appears at the other end, then I'm stuck in the middle here. I can't get out on either side.
Yeah.
I'm getting Handmaid's Tale vibes from just like the loss of freedom.
Just thought about that this morning. Yeah. Also because I just watched The Invisible Man the other day and I saw Elizabeth Moss. But I was at the park. I've been going to the park every day just for fresh air and to get some exercise. And anytime that I have to cross somebody else like this, we obviously move away from each other. But the first couple times I did it, I kind of like somewhat felt offended when they did it first. I was just like, oh, well, no, me too. So
like, you're not avoiding me, I'm avoiding you.
Yeah. So I slightly got hurt, but I was just like, no, it's not that.
I got pissed off because I was at the park the other day too. It's so funny that like now we're like, let's take walks and do all these things. Whereas before you're like, fuck it, like what's up?
Yeah.
But I was at the park too the other day, sitting on a bench, and most people who would walk by would like, keep their distance and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There was this one guy walking by, and I heard him coming because he was breathing heavily, very heavily, like. And I don't know if he like just finished jogging or something, but he walked by me. He didn't move, which it's a confusing thing whose responsibility it is because the path is there, but the bench is there. So like, who really is in the wrong? And he let out a big fucking breath as he was passing me, and he didn't move to be further away. So he's probably like 3 or 4 feet away from me. It's probably okay, but I'm like, what if you're short on breath and you just blew into my line of breathing here, essentially?
I hold my breath.
Me too.
I do. When I'm like, oh, I'm extra close, I'm just like,
we're like going underwater past each other.
Yeah, because I'm like, what if they breathe and I breathe in inside me?
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if that's even effective.
I think about that too. I'm like, is this even doing anything, or am I just about to pass out?
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're right.
The whole world is like fending off something that's completely invisible. It's really weird.
Is it bonkers?
We don't know really anything.
Yeah. It's
we're just
weird.
like I wish I was thinking about this earlier. Like I wish every day you get a compilation of stats, like the closest distance you got to the coronavirus in that day, or like you got it on your hands, but you successfully washed it off.
Yeah,
or,
I think about that every time I wash my hands. I'm like, bitch, you better get the fuck off my hands. Yeah. Like you're getting running down that sink.
So does it take? Well, what is like a singular piece of virus?
A virus,
just virus,
right?
One virus,
right?
Does one virus get you, or do you need?
I think it could, right? Like it gets in and
like,
it replicates.
Does your immune system like twat the first few, but then the third one gets you? Like
I think maybe it's like a matter of how fast it can replicate. I don't know.
I wish you did know, Gus.
Sorry,
I wish you did too.
Guess I look to you for all my information.
I know, me too.
Apologies, I let you down there.
Something I will say, as someone who has medically sweaty hands.
No, it's not airborne apparently, according to the chat.
Oh, that's good.
But what if you cough? Don't they want you to like cover your cough and stuff?
Well,
like, so it doesn't get on
That's
stuff.
not air. That's like lumps of gauze.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you, chat. But as someone with very sweaty hands all the time, it's a medical condition I have called hyperhidrosis. Very sweaty hands all the time. Mm-hmm. Not having to shake anyone's hand has been really nice. It's gotten me out of a lot of like awkward social situations where I do shake someone's hand and my hands are a little sweaty and they go, oh, like.
At least they're always soft though.
It's true.
It's true.
As someone who doesn't like social hugging, this is a big win for me.
Silver lining.
You gotta find your joy where you can. Like you said, humans laughing.
Yep, humans laughing.
You're talking about the Invisible Man, and it's crazy to me. Like how quickly industries are trying to like pivot and change things. Like now, the other day I was watching TV and there was a commercial for The Invisible Man, and it was like, watch it now at home.
Yeah.
And the same with like Onward and like movies.
Yeah, we watched Onward this week.
Yeah.
Because it was, I guess it was supposed to be in theaters for a lot longer.
How much did you pay for it?
So I think it's going to be on Disney Plus next week, but we paid $20 for it.
Same here.
Which I am 100% fine with because this movie had to come out of theaters early and we would pay $10 a ticket anyways to see it. And I was like, I want to be able to support these films because like that sucks that they didn't have a theater run.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're making the most of the downtime. If there's like maintenance to be done.
Who's making the most of the downtime?
Anyone. If it's like, this airport runway needs a resurface. Now's the perfect time.
It's funny you say that. I was driving down Mopac the other day, and it was like the middle of the day, and a road crew had one of the lanes blocked off. It's like they never would do that normally.
Yeah.
It would be a huge pain in the ass for traffic, but it was like, it didn't even slow anything down because there were so few cars on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what's being done.
Didn't they also release something where the air pollution over China has decreased significantly?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they were able to see it on satellites, like a significant drop in the pollution. I could be talking out of my ass. I've been reading a lot of things.
I mean, yeah, I've read that just in general, like rivers are clear and, the earth is taking a much needed breath of fresh air, sounds like.
So bad for us, good for Earth?
Yeah.
That sucks. Maybe the Earth started the coronavirus.
Yeah. What if?
I was reading about Fauci.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an impressive dude.
Very.
I don't know anything about him other than like what I see him on
There's
TV.
like clips of stuff like all the way back to the 80s where he's like working on AIDS and stuff. And he's like
working on AIDS?
Yeah. Like
that's a weird way to say it.
Like a cure?
Like what's he working on now? Coronavirus.
He's doing like AIDS research. I don't know, working on it. It makes it sound like he was
developing
it. I know.
He invented AIDS and dispersed it.
Yeah, like SARS, Ebola, all that stuff. He's been pivotal in all of that.
He also is
combating it.
That's the one.
He provides a huge sense of comfort as well, I feel, during those press conferences with the administration, because you have someone there who's an expert and
an adult.
Yes.
Yes. And who, when he speaks, he gives answers and he says what they don't know, because like I don't know why people are so afraid of saying we don't know this yet and giving an answer of either something that's not true or just trying to make people less scared.
It's much more informative than an all caps tweet that's completely vague in every direction.
Yeah,
that's very true. Or it's nice to hear him speak than, the president or someone else getting a briefing of that and then relaying it to the world. Because,
right. It's like a terrible telephone game.
Yeah, it's just nice to hear it directly from him. Mm-hmm. It is comforting.
Yeah.
So when all of this, quarantine and staying home and isolation, it led right up. It like, how's what's a good way to say this that doesn't sound shitty? The time wise, it lined up with the premiere of Westworld season 3, so it was like an excuse to stay in. And I rewatched all of Westworld season 1 and 2. And
already?
Yeah.
Wow, you're fast.
I went through it really quickly, and I stand by. I still think Westworld season 2 is better than season 1. I think it was. I think it was a more difficult watch week to week. But when you remove that time constraint and you can watch it all more quickly, I think it's way better. Anyway, Westworld season 3 started. Episode 2 just came out yesterday, and I thought it was a really good episode. But I was going to watch it last night, and it was on. Like I had it DVR'd. I was like, I should just watch it on HBO Go because it's better quality. It's 1080p. So I switch over to HBO Go and I hit, Westworld, hit play, and it starts playing, and it has like the HBO logo and it has like the nudity, violence, all that shit. And then a public service announcement from the CDC played. It was like a commercial about coronavirus and what to do and like wash your hands. And I was like, I've never seen a fucking commercial on HBO.
Yeah.
It was like between the content warning and the content, it was like a minute long. These are the signs to watch for.
Good place to put it.
Right.
That's very true.
I was like,
honestly, that message should be blasted fucking everywhere.
Right. Unprecedented.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no complaining about that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the right call. I can't believe that they did that.
Do you think there are still people in the world, and there have to be, for people who are living on their own out in a more like sparse kind of place with no internet or access to people or whatever who don't know about coronavirus?
There was a few stories about that I read last week. Like I think it was the German version of Big Brother.
Yeah.
They were all on camera and they didn't know. And I also read another story about a rafting tour through the Grand Canyon. It was like a 25-day long rafting tour where they had no access to cell phone coverage or anything, and that they got to the end of the raft tour, and the guide was like, "Hey, listen, I got to tell you all this stuff that's happening in the world," and they all just thought that the guide was fucking with them. Until like they started making phone calls to their families and stuff to verify.
You
all
would,
the
right?
stories.
If you came in at this point and like the world has been on pause for all this time, you'd be like, "Wait, you can't do that. That can't happen."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's just so lines up with the time that you're off
Yeah.
the grid for a while, and then you hear about this.
That's terrifying. I wonder what it would be like if I was just locked away somewhere for a while and then all of a sudden.
I mean, I'm sure there's people who will never know about it, like tribes, like that Sentinel Island that kill anyone who comes there.
Oh yeah.
They won't ever know about it, probably.
I also think about people living like the only example I can think of is Walter White in Breaking Bad, where he gets sent to that house and he's like living like that for how long? Months, years, or something like that. Like there are people who live that way.
Spoiler.
10-year-old show. What is it now? 7 years.
Someone mentioned like cults, people that are, just don't have,
That'd be crazy.
access to the outside world. Oh man.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's interesting times. It's unprecedented.
I don't think it's fully sunk in yet, actually.
Yeah, we're just at the beginning of it.
Yeah, maybe that's why. We're not fully, because every day I'm just like, like we had our scrum call today and it really set in for the first time where it's just like, we're going to be doing this for a while. I'm like,
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also part of that meeting, that scrum, as it's called.
Yes.
Why does everyone have their webcam on for that?
We like to see each other.
It was actually really nice to see everybody's
Like
faces.
a different human face.
Yeah, it was like
probably don't need that.
webcam. I was like, no.
Yeah, you don't need that. Gus.
Shocking, Gus.
Yeah, this is like your heaven. You're not around people right now.
I had to watch Jessica look for her turtle in her house. I was like, why am I watching this? Like,
I way prefer the webcams over just audio because it just like I like seeing who is talking. And I also like seeing people when you're home alone for days and you want to be able to like see people's fucking faces.
I feel like you're on better behavior if the webcam's on too. Like you're definitely paying attention. You're not just like sat on your phone.
Exactly.
It's true. Which, by the way, we talked about this in Scrum also. Did you see that video that's going around where that girl was on her team meeting? I guess it was on Zoom. And she, I guess, forgot that her webcam was on. So she went to the bathroom and there's full on her and like 8 other people. She's sitting on the toilet peeing. And the person talking is just kind of like, what's going on? Because everyone's just like giggling and they're like,
oh my God.
I mean,
that is my nightmare.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just don't turn it on.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point because in case I do have to pee and forget, it's on. So, you're right, Gus.
I don't know about you guys, but I came to the studio to do the podcast today thinking, what the fuck are we going to talk about other than this?
I feel like, honestly, I've been busy for a decade.
Well, good for you.
No,
I know.
I haven't finished. I said I've been busy for a decade. And this is the first time in over 10 years where I've had just free time like into the horizon.
That's true.
And I've never been less motivated to do anything in my life than I am right now. Like in theory, it's brilliant. I can work on all the stuff that I've not been able to work on all this time. And I wake up just feeling so blah and I don't want to do it. And hopefully that'll pass.
Yeah.
It's so weird to have
last week
to not be busy. It's so weird to me.
Last week was so productive for me. I think last week may have been more productive than I normally am in a week in the office. Is Dennis here? No, Dennis isn't here. We have a small crew. I think Dennis and I finished the next 4 scripts for Black Box Down, premiering April 16th. It's our new...
Scripts as in like what the story is about, right?
Right. Like we basically write out the incident, when it happened, and like all the talking points and everything. So I think we've taped 3 or 4, and we have like the next 3 or 4 scripted out and ready to record. So it's like...
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like really all over that.
Yeah, I feel like the end of last week was the most productive I've been in a while. And I think I finally got like my home office set up in a place where I'm like comfortable with it. And it was just like, well, I'm working from home, so I should be working. And so I like made sure to answer all these emails and plan out this thing and try to get everyone on the same page about this. But it's like a really daunting thing right now, I think, for a lot of us, because it's like, oh, you're going to be working from home for the foreseeable future. Still need to make content. So like,
yeah,
come up with as many ideas as possible of stuff we could do.
Like I've been messaging John a lot, like trying to come up with ideas that we can stream and do. And I've come up with I think I've come up with a few really good ones. Some of them are like, how much should I say? Some of them are like remote working pranks that you could play on other people, like how to prank people when you're not in the same place.
Oh, great.
Oh, God.
Can't wait.
Oh, man.
And
turn on their webcam without them
I said
knowing.
we should call it a new series, call it Remotely Funny.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty good.
That's remotely funny.
But it's a little too adjacent to kind of funny, so
that's
so maybe not. But so I was bouncing some ideas off him when we were in that meeting earlier. I was like messaging him nonstop, like, oh, we should do this and we should do this and we should do this.
Oh, jeez.
Like just trying to come up with things to do.
Yeah, I was productive last week, but then this week I feel, like he said, not motivated.
Well, it's only Monday.
You're right. But
Yeah.
I was just like, man, last week I was like, all right, ready to do it, getting things done left and right. And then now I'm just like,
I think, honestly, the thing that helps, and Gavin, I don't know if you want to try this too, and this is going to be the most obvious answer, but like essentially make a schedule for yourself.
Yeah.
Every day, or at least like for the week. Like on Monday, I want to do this. On Tuesday, I want to take care of that. And like, I don't know, like what time you're going to eat lunch and what time you're going to work out, all these things.
I'll tell you the real problem with that. Animal Crossing.
Oh.
I am fucking addicted to Animal Crossing. It's going to destroy my life.
I feel like I would be too if I had it, but I don't.
Holy shit.
You should get it.
I should.
Like, before Animal Crossing in the dark times, I would wake up in the morning and be like, oh, the world's kind of shitty right now. All this stuff's going on. Now I wake up and I'm like, I got to go check on the museum. I got some things. I got to see how much money I got from the stuff I sold overnight. Or, I wonder if I'm going to go catch some fish. Is it raining on my island today? I should go find out.
Is it raining?
Yeah, I was like that this morning. I woke up and I was just like, didn't set an alarm. So I was like, I wonder if my house is built. Oh, Vlada's showed up. Woo!
Yeah, like my house was expanded. It's like, yeah, I got to redecorate. I have in my house, I have my bedroom / gym and my living room / bathroom. I have a urinal, a toilet, and a squatting toilet in my bathroom.
Wow, that impresses me.
Yeah, I built a garden with a little spigot you could turn on.
You could get a squatty potty in Animal
It's
Crossing.
not a squatty potty. It's like the
a
Asian-style toilets
Oh.
Wow.
that are like in the ground and you have to
So
squat over.
every time you go into that bathroom, you have a choice.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, most people don't have a choice.
Every
It's
choice.
just a toilet,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Wow.
I've got everything. I'm living my
Oh,
best
wow.
Animal Crossing life, Jessica.
Absolutely.
Are you guys playing it?
I wish I don't have it, and I think if I were to, they're all sold out, right?
You
can
can buy it
online.
digitally. Oh, if you don't
Oh,
have
you
a
just don't
Switch,
have a Switch?
you can get a Switch.
It might
I have
be
a
hard
Switch,
too.
but not a.
Oh, you can buy it digitally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
shit.
can get games digitally now,
Oh, Switch
for the most part,
That's
I
great.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
For like the past decade.
I
so.
did play Animal Crossing.
You guys, I'm new to this. Come on.
It is really endearing and funny, like teaching Jessica about all these things. She's like, I want to stream. How do I stream? And I'm like, well, what kind of equipment do you have? Do you have this and that?
I don't know.
She's like, can I stream from my Xbox? And I was like, yeah.
God, there's a lot to it.
There's-
Just to suddenly get into streaming.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's something that we're really working through with the team.
It's because we're trying to make content, and because I don't play video games
Wait.
and I want to learn, I think it would be funny. What?
Monica Shannon, do you have a bidet in Animal Crossing?
Maybe she's talking about real
Did
life.
you talk about real life or Animal Crossing?
I like how you interrupted Jessica to ask that
Jessica,
question.
I don't care what you're saying.
Question.
There might be a bidet in Animal Crossing.
Just take a day bidet.
Sorry.
Man, Blathers really is in the
Barb.
wrong line of work, though. Isn't he?
What? Why?
Well, he just doesn't like bugs.
I saw a really interesting video that I retweeted yesterday about the thought process behind gibberish in video games like that.
I watched that video.
It was really
and how
fucking cool.
It's like localized.
Yeah.
Like the Japanese gibberish is different.
Yeah, so like in Animal Crossing, the Japanese gibberish is different than the English gibberish you hear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess that does.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because when you hear English people speaking and it's like inaudible, it probably sounds a certain way versus when a different language is
Did you watch the
speaking.
video too?
That's true.
No.
Oh, that's
But that's
exactly
what
the
I
point.
was-
Hollywog says their brother has a bidet in Animal Crossing. Thank you.
Wow.
So they didn't talk exclusively about Animal Crossing in that video. They talked about other video games as well. And they brought up a point that I'd never considered about how, like, when EA made The Sims, they created Simlish to try to, bridge this gap where it didn't matter. You could just release the game anywhere, and Simlish was Simlish. But the problem is that the people who recorded the Simlish lines that they remixed and everything spoke English, so that the sounds that they made to produce Simlish are all the sounds that exist in the English language, or in our capacity to produce sounds.
Yeah.
Like one of the examples in that video was that if you can hear people having a conversation through a wall, even if you can't hear what they're saying, you can probably hear that they're English or not.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you could tell by the cadence and the rhythm and the pitch change. It was like a 12-minute long video, but it was really entertaining.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Highly recommend everyone go check that out. Watch it.
Anyway, put Animal Crossing down because Half-Life came out.
I can't. Is it good? Have you been playing it?
I played for about an hour before I came here, and it is. I feel like Valve are just so good at building worlds where you don't want to rush. Like I felt that way in Portal 2, where I just like look around and be like, "Wow, that's
for sure."
What is Half-Life
now-
about?
Half-Life Alyx is the new. What is Half-Life about in general? Mm-hmm. Oh, you like apocalyptic shit, end of the world, alien stuff.
It's like a tear in the fabric of the dimension, and aliens kind of come through,
I
and
also
you're a
didn't-
scientist.
I didn't realize that because I have the index, I get the game for free. Didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Well, I guess maybe if you buy it before 2020 or something. So I just already had it. So I was playing it, and I guess either because it's VR, it feels so much more immersive, or that the graphics are just better. But stuff is disgusting. Like I just found a zombie on the floor, and I was like leaning down and like holding his head and like looking at his gnarled up face. It's disgusting. And now I'm just extra terrified that one's going to jump out at me. I haven't actually experienced anything yet other than just walking around. But damn, it looks good. Holy shit. It's so cool to be back in that world. I'm so excited to play
I
it.
took my VR setup down. It's like in a box. So I've been kind of hesitant to pick up Half-Life Alyx.
I mean, is it that much to leave it up all times? You just don't like the base stations up on the...
Well, what happened was I had everything up. Then I had a remodel done in my house, so I had to take it down. And then after the remodel, I just never put it back up.
Oh.
Well, now's a great time.
I know, right?
Yeah,
You got some free time on your hands.
I guess so.
I mean, my things are just up on poles, so they're not like... I didn't have to put them up on the wall or anything.
What does your VR setup look like, Jessica?
Oh, yeah, just I have all the things. I have all the equipment.
All the things, all the V's, all the R's.
I have it all. So, and I do it every day.
I actually had I downloaded XSplit the other day, which is like a program you use to set up streaming and things of that nature. And I actually had like a really good time like messing around with it and playing around with settings and different scenes and stuff like that. And that's like, I could do a stream.
Are you
could
gonna
do
be
streaming.
a streamer girl?
I'm gonna do streams.
Oh.
But no, we're actually not to like promote stuff, but we're doing live streams all the time on RTTV this week and moving forward.
Not to promote stuff.
Well, I guess like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be like plug. But in terms of like stuff we're doing, which I think is like really fun and it's going to be available to everybody
Yeah, people are bored at home.
for free.
They have something to watch.
Yeah. So RTTV, which is like the live stream right here that you guys are on right now, we're going to have stuff all day, every day, pretty much, especially between the hours of 1 and 5 o'clock Central. John is going to be streaming tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I think we're going to be doing some Stardew Valley, perhaps.
Hell yeah. What a game.
I do know what that game is.
Well, while you're talking about that, I want to give a big thank you to first members who make it all possible.
Hell yeah.
And
Yes.
Normally, RTTV is something that's exclusively reserved for our first members, but we're opening it up to everyone right now. And I think the community's been really great about that, really understanding and wanting to share
Thank
all of the
you.
live content with everyone. So yeah, big thanks to first members for making all of that possible.
First members, look me in the eyes. You do real MVP.
No, me too.
Say something, Jessica.
Love you.
Hey.
I've just been enjoying the feedback still. Like it's nice to have a bunch of people who watch pretty much everything that we do and keep us company in this weird time.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Otherwise, everything just feels a little bit pointless.
Talking
Yeah,
to
I-
a void.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been jumping in chat every now and then to chat with people who are watching RTTV just to get a little bit of human interaction. That's like the perfect level for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not have to see people, just talk online. Great.
Yeah.
Don't have my webcam on.
We're thinking about doing potentially like a happy hour kind of stream where if you guys are of age, grab a drink, join us for some chatting and stuff like that. If you're not, grab an apple juice.
Get a.
Yeah.
You can drink a virgin mimosa.
There you go.
It's just orange juice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You add some water into it to make it a little more clear.
Sparkling water.
Yeah.
Sparkling water and orange juice. Yuck.
That might be okay.
It's just like watered down orange juice. I kind of want to try it now.
But bubbly.
Sparkling water
Be like
and orange juice, it's
Tango.
just sparkly orange juice. It's just bubbly orange juice.
But like watered down.
But watered down.
But I've tried it and it's not that way.
What?
Sparkling water, right?
Yeah.
Like Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put that in orange juice?
Well, I mix them if you're not drinking alcohol. What's going on?
No, just,
Oh god. I just felt
we're just
the room
listening. You're
change.
talking.
Yeah, no,
It's
maybe
like I could see in your eyes. You're like, someone interrupt me, please. Someone
someone save me. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna jump off this fucking ship. No, maybe it's because I have bubbles. I have my bubbles issue. So anything that's extremely carbonated hurts me. So maybe for that, it's just like, oh, this is perfect for me.
Have you talked about that on the podcast?
Yeah, I have.
You talked about it last time you were on.
I talk about it pretty much every single time I'm on any sort of live
What is it like?
studio
You
show.
can't burp or something?
Yes, I cannot burp.
There's like a.
Anybody who's seen an episode of Always Open with you on it knows that. It's somehow we always
It's
end up
because like
bringing
when we
it up.
take shots, I'm just like, I can't take a whole shot. I can't just.
I
go-
know a guy who had a procedure to fix it.
Yeah.
Really? Do you really? Did they? Okay.
Not in Austin, though, right?
No.
I think there's a specialist who does it
Yeah.
somewhere else.
It was in
Yeah.
England, but yeah, they just like did a little thing in his throat, and it was actually like really cool watching him do his first burp. He filmed it. And he was
Oh,
like, I can do it.
It's like when those people are colorblind and they put the glasses on and they can finally see all the colors.
Oh my
And you
God.
have someone who can't burp who they finally get
gonna
their first
burp
burp, and then
constantly.
you start crying.
Yeah, it's such an equally emotional experience when you've not been able to do it the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that when we were filming the other week? About someone we know or someone you knew that got this surgery.
Cameron's girlfriend.
And he said that she was burping like crazy for like days, right?
Yeah.
Because it was just like all she could do now.
Yeah. That's my dream. That's a dream for me. To just burp 24/7 all day. Yeah,
could
that'd be
probably-
so great.
You can probably
Live.
find an audience for that.
Yeah, aren't you like? Yeah.
If it's an RT Live, the company will pay for it, right?
Perfect, Gavin. But if not, you will.
What?
Okay.
I heard him say, yeah, that's great. Thanks, Gavin.
Gavin, did you design these shoes?
Let me. Oh, I did. I tried to make. You know, I like to make really hideous Converse
Yeah.
by picking all the clashiest patterns.
Well,
So
that's
for
what
this,
hap-
I've gone for strawberries, avocados, and zebra print
I actually like them.
with a
It
pink.
Works really well.
You like it?
It actually isn't bad.
You think that's pink? It looks more purplish to me.
Purpley pink.
like
Honestly,
a
all I
lilac.
get when I make hideous shoes, I've named these ones disgusting. Is that they just get compliments, and it kind of defeats the purpose of why I wear them.
Yeah, because they're unique. People like unique.
Yeah, I think those are fun.
New shirt. People like unique.
There you go.
There you go. I saw this in the chat as it was scrolling by. But you know how we always talk about getting bevs? Well,
Yeah.
now we could get bevs and do a live stream with it.
Get bevs.
Yeah. You
So
want to
you're
get bevs with me on live stream?
Let's do it.
All right.
Get some damn bev.
I'll chuck a bottle of tequila at your house.
Oh man. Yeah.
So, in other news, I read that yesterday, March 22nd, marked the 125th anniversary of like the public performance of movies. That was like the first time a movie was performed or was played for an audience. It was an audience of 10 people.
Wow. 120?
125
Really?
years ago. It was March 22nd, 1895.
So they were a group of 10 people who were like, let's go and see the first movie.
Or maybe it was like the people who made the movie were just like, hey, we should show this to a lot of people.
Yeah. Wow. That doesn't seem that far, but it also is.
Yeah, it was just like a film of people leaving a factory. Like the factory was done working for the day. So it's just people leaving a factory.
Riveting. Yeah.
I
For
watched
that
it.
time it was.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it's strange like how far it's come. So it's like 125 years ago, movies were just being publicly performed for the first time, and now we're all huddled up at home downloading movies to watch them by
And now
ourselves.
theaters are closed,
Right.
too.
Oh man.
I assume everywhere in the world, or most places in the world, are starting to shut down theaters and stores and everything like that, too.
It should be. Last week you mentioned, I forget who it was, one of you mentioned out in the Draft House, they were like blocking out seats to try to keep people spaced apart.
Now they're closed.
Now they're just, closed.
Yeah, you go to their app or their website and it says, sorry, we're closed. I think you could still, a lot of stores, you can still buy gift cards and stuff like that, which helps keep them afloat for the time being.
Have you guys been ordering a lot of food from local stores and stuff?
Yeah.
I haven't. I
Me
feel
and,
guilty about it. I should.
me and
A
Trevor
lot
have
of
been
places
ordering.
have like special reduced menus, but like pretty easy to order online and go and pick up.
There's also a lot of people who are afraid to order food because of the virus transferring, but a lot of places have transitioned to using cardboard or paper packaging, and the virus doesn't stay on that.
Oh, that's good because I had an incident when picking up food the other day.
What?
Carry on.
But I was just going to say, like, it's still, there still could be traces of it, but it tends to only stay on things that it could stay on without, like, the paper and cardboard is porous, so it'll essentially not stick to it. Or
Good to know.
I might be saying this wrong, but it doesn't stick to it as it does on, like, plastic or wood or metal or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was your incident?
So we ordered from a restaurant. Tony was driving. I was in the passenger seat, as it usually goes.
Shocking. Yeah.
And the food was passed in, and she gave me the main food. And we also had like a little dessert bag. So I put the main food on my lap, and I took the dessert bag, and I just leant down and put it in the footwell. But the handle went in my mouth on the bag, and I was like, "Great, great." And
Literally,
I've been
the thing
so
that touches
careful.
people's hands.
Yeah, it came off her hand, and less than 2 seconds later, it was in my mouth. And I was like, "God damn it!" And I've been so careful about washing my hands constantly. I've been washing my hands like before I take a piss and then after.
Yeah.
So I don't want like virus on my penis and stuff. And I was just really annoyed. I was like, "That if that was it, if that's how I get it, damn it."
Well, when was that?
Like a week ago.
You still got time. I know. Got another 7 days before we know.
I love that line. That in less than 2 seconds, it was in my mouth.
It was. That's where I went.
What kind of material was it, though?
Did it
It was a
taste good?
paper
Oh, then you should
handle.
be okay.
Tasted disgusting,
Oh, go figure.
but that was mainly placebo, I imagine.
Were you about to say something like it doesn't? Were you about to say the virus does not?
It doesn't transfer penis.
Yeah, I was gonna
What about penis?
say the same
Mouth,
thing.
nose, eyes.
No penis.
Not penis. I don't think it can
No
get
penis.
through your penis.
But I don't want to leave it on my penis.
Where would it go?
Well, in case
would
it'll
it
just
find
stick
its
there until
way
you touch
into?
it next
It might. Why
I don't know.
not?
Like, what if I touch my penis and then touch my eye? But, you know, if I've got
That's up to you.
That's a you thing, Gavin. Yeah. Wait, but
I don't know. You,
You
don't want
did
it on
ask me the other week if it could get in through my vagina. So it's a fair
your, you know,
question.
mucous membranes and all that.
Yeah.
Can it?
wait, but
I don't know.
can't imagine why it wouldn't.
I mean,
That's-
you can get
it is an
drunk through your
orifice.
vagina and anus. So why wouldn't the virus be able to get in the blood that way?
I don't know how these things work well enough.
this is a strange question, and let me know if it's too far.
After that conversation, Jessica, I think you're in the clear.
Like, have you guys been feeling weird during like sexy time because you're like, oh, the virus? You don't know. Is that
It just it just makes me think of that scene in the original Naked Gun movie where they wear like big full body condoms.
No, because excuse me,
Uh-oh.
that was I just took a drink. Every fucking time I cough now,
I know. Me
everyone
too.
looks at me.
Me too. I'm just like, I'm
Well,
not
because
sick, I
that one
promise.
went everywhere and not into your elbow sleeve.
It shocked
thing.
me. It was like one of those like I'm choking
It
cough.
was a surprise cough. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it. No, I mean, Trevor and I kiss all the time, so if it's gonna
It's there.
pass
yeah.
through us, like that's already happening.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the sexy time in that sense.
Yeah. Because I know I've heard online that some people, like couples, are just not. I'm like, but
Why? If you
are
live
Like
together.
unless
You
you're
live
completely
together.
quarantining yourself in the same house or
and you're
apartment,
sick. Yeah.
or like you have a separate room and bathroom and like you're not interacting with each other at all.
Yeah.
But if you live together,
But
like
it's there. It's in the house. It
Yeah.
knows where you are.
Okay, so
Virus isn't transmitted through the blood.
Eric
All right.
Eric is not here currently because we have a small crew, but he's watching remotely.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
We miss you.
And he just sent me something. Our internet's being slow, so I'm waiting for it to load. But what he said here, so this is talking about what we just said.
Oh no.
The state of New York issued sex guidance for these times that we're in.
Yeah, baby.
There he is.
They
Comforting.
according to the state of New York, you should not eat ass.
Is that an official order?
Well,
Big dog's gotta eat.
Oh, God.
Oh my
Jesus.
Proud of that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no rimming. I don't believe this, but it's right here. It's on nyc.gov. It's like COVID sex guidance.
What are the exact words?
It's still loading. I'm seeing the gray screen right now. I'll let you know as soon as
Wait, so
it
this
loads.
is real?
But it doesn't, like, I would need to know if it
This is
says,
real.
do not eat ass.
I think what it says. Okay, here it is. It just popped
No
in.
way. That's the phrasing.
Okay, it's a numbered list. Number 3.
Oh, no.
Take care during sex, and then there's 4 bullet points under that. The second bullet point is rimming, mouth on anus might spread COVID-19.
They use the word rimming.
Yes.
Oh,
Virus and feces
wow.
may enter your mouth.
okay.
Imagine having a virus on your butthole.
I just like this government worker who's like, tell everyone to stop rimming.
Number 2,
It's an issue.
have sex with people close to you. You are your safest sex partner. Masturbation will not spread COVID-19.
You know what masturbation will
Wow.
do? It'll help your immune system. I'm serious.
Yeah, that.
They tell you to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before and after.
Before.
Yep.
Because you don't want the virus on
So
your
yeah,
jennies.
so I think
Or you could just sit on
you're
your
right.
own foot and wobble around for a few minutes.
wash your butt.
Whatever you prefer. That one was
Man.
just for you, Gavin.
Okay, this makes sense now.
Learning a lot today.
Me too.
I haven't done that since I was a teenager. Don't worry.
What? Wow.
Did it work though?
Sometimes.
Well, you know,
That was in the
that's
right
what
headspace.
matters.
Wobble is such a particular word to use for what you're doing right there.
How else would you refer to this?
Gyrate.
But gyrate's a little more like...
That's an aggressive word
Yeah.
to me.
Gyrate's aggressive?
Feels like it when you're talking about masturbation.
Barbara wobbles, but she won't come down.
Oh, she'll come.
I can't believe there's. I mean, I
Down.
guess that makes sense that there
Nice.
would be sex guidelines. Oh wow, it's just. Yep,
Well,
that's where we are now.
Jessica, did you ever
What,
do a
masturbate?
good wobbling?
I know my mom is watching this right now. She's texting me.
Okay,
so
I'll refrain from asking.
So no then.
Jessica has never even been naked before.
no, I've never done. I'm a virgin.
You look
Never
like
done
one.
anything.
Gavin!
I don't know, I was trying to help. I don't know what that means. I
I was trying to help.
He was trying
was trying to back you up, son. I don't know.
That
Should've
one
said
just
nothing.
came out of your ass, man. Wow. I look like
Just
one.
don't eat it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Let's dissect this.
I don't want to get into the
Okay.
conversations that we have about your appearance because you change what I say every time. So last time
What?
Oh, I have video evidence of this too.
I went back and I've checked. Okay, so last time you said that I said your hairline looked like a man's hairline.
People are getting sick of this conversation.
Right, but I need to clarify.
Yeah, Gavin does need to
I need to
clarify.
clarify. So I was saying, no, I didn't say that. I said you had a weird hairline. Went
Okay.
back to the old one. I discovered, I didn't even say that. I said at the time that you had a crazy hairline because it's cool, it's different. And then you told it as me saying you have a weird hairline. So then you changed it to a man's hairline, and I was defending myself with what you also made up the last time, which was weird when originally I said you had a crazy hairline.
So
I had
what
to go
my
back
brain
through the podcasts.
So yeah, I think it was the last time you were on. We had to load up the old podcast to find it. But I think by the time we found it, the podcast was over. And I think when we found it, Barbara was filming. So you have
I have the video,
Video
evidence.
evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, Gavin was right.
Yes, he was. That
Damn.
little shit.
Unfortunately,
Right.
for
and
all
stop
of us.
changing it. I said crazy hairline.
In my brain, I just took that as Gavin thinks I have a fucking weird hairline. And so that just stuck in my brain.
Stuck in mine apparently too. But I don't think you have a weird hairline. I think it's cool.
So it's crazy and it's cool now.
is it
Crazy
sexy?
could be cool.
Maybe crazy, sexy, cool.
I wouldn't call this hairline sexual by any means.
But
Sexy doesn't mean sexual, surely.
Well, it's not like...
Like you could be sexy without being sexual.
That's true.
I always love when Gavin has like an extra point he wants to make.
Oh, he makes
adds,
it.
He adds surely to the end or the beginning. It couldn't possibly be that, surely.
I've cleared my name. I'm happy now.
Good.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Quick
we get
update
it.
on the New York sex guidelines.
Whew, you know, this is something. Okay.
COVID-19 has not yet been found in semen or vaginal fluid.
Okay.
We know that other coronaviruses do not efficiently transmit through sex. So there you go.
Excellent.
Give oral all day.
But don't eat ass.
But don't flip it around. No, keep it right side up.
That's
don't go too low.
Yeah, just get off of the appropriate floor.
So what are we doing next week? We're just going to do it from home?
We're working on a solution. So it's going to look a little different. I know we mentioned it at the top of the show. Working on a solution to do it remotely, to do the podcast remotely.
Are we doing cameras and that?
Yeah.
With webcams?
Yeah.
You'll need a webcam and a microphone.
So unlike the meetings, I will turn my webcam on.
Can I shoot it on the Phantom?
If you...
Has anyone ever done a podcast on a Phantom?
Not that I know of.
It could be the first ever.
I mean, I can run the thing at 30 frames for a bit.
The Phantom doesn't know it. Is the Phantom even on at that point?
Yeah, it's just confused about what it's doing with its life.
Yeah. My mom just texted me saying that I'm a dirty girl. So
Oh, God.
look what you guys have done. She writes dirty girl, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
But she didn't admit to anything. Unless your mom's talking about me. What's up, Mom? Although my parents are absolutely watching this 100%, as they always are.
But they know who you are and what that you do.
I'm very grateful that my parents stay as informed as they do with social media and the news and everything like that, because like they fully understand everything going on with COVID-19 and like they're being responsible about it. And there's a lot of people their age who don't take it seriously. And it's like, you're the people who are at risk.
I feel like a lot of the people not taking it seriously are the generations either side of us.
Yeah. Younger or older.
Yeah, but I feel like millennials have actually been...
Pretty good about it.
I know, it's hard to generalize like that, but I feel like a lot of people in our generation have been taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah, it's been frustrating watching videos of crowded beaches.
The spring breaker kids.
Yeah.
I think, didn't we talk about it today in our meeting, how we found out that it was either 5 or 6 of those people in that video from spring break in Miami got the virus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's probably more of them.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them. I mean, they're on a beach drinking and touching each other. I mean, it's just getting passed around.
I saw a video from a helicopter in Brazil where they were flying low over beaches to annoy people to get them to leave.
There you go.
Right,
Hey,
so like the
that's,
helicopter's just like taking
Buzzing
sand
them.
up, right?
that's a tactic.
And like blowing all that wind so that they're forced to go away. It's
Yeah.
an interesting but expensive approach to doing to getting people to do what they should already be fucking doing.
Yep.
I think the UK just got locked down,
Yeah, it did.
finally.
Yeah, they...
It's a bad time to Brexit.
Yeah. It must be a bad time to go through a breakup too.
I was thinking about that exact same thing the other day.
Same.
Because
Here.
you'd just be double alone.
You're alone, yeah.
Well, I think there's we might see.
Or going through a breakup right now when it's the shelter in place.
Well, that's what I mean.
What if you live together?
Oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
then
like-
what do you do?
Yeah, like you can't really move out, right? Like I assume you can't find a place.
I
Yeah. To
assume
live
that
in.
all places are closed and you can't rent anything.
I think when this eventually passes, I think we're going to see two things that I'm really curious to see. It'll take a while to get all this data. You know, I'm a nut when it comes to data.
Yeah.
I think in 9 months, we're going to see a lot of kids born. So right around the end of this year, early next year, we'll probably see a mini spike in children who are born. The second thing is I want to see how this affects the divorce rate in this country. Like if we're going to see, like since couples who might spend their time apart are forced to actually spend time together and cohabitate for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
If like once they're allowed to get their space, if they're just like, you know what, this isn't worth it, and they're just gonna see people end up getting divorced.
I think, well, it's you have a lot of factors working against you, right? Because you not only are stuck inside, having to interact with each other 24/7, but there's also a level of a lot of uncertainty and fear and anxiety that comes with this whole situation and not feeling safe, that I think people are extra stressed out, extra anxious, might be less patient with each other, might be more willing to snap, or all these things. So it's like essentially a recipe for disaster for so many people.
Yeah.
In situations. Like Trevor and I have been living together for over a year at this point, and like we're great together, but there's definitely moments where I realized I needed to like be more patient with myself or with him, when it's just like, okay, like I'm getting aggravated, but I think it's because I'm stressed out and I'm anxious and vice versa. So there's been a lot of like, let's make sure we communicate all the time. So cannot recommend that enough for you and your significant others. Talk and don't like just
I
snap
can't
at each other.
imagine you guys arguing.
It's over, like, it's so rare. It's like once every few months that we have an argument about something. And it's always because one of us is trying to explain something and the other person doesn't understand. And then it becomes just like a thing for a second. And then it's like, okay, well, let me explain where I was coming from. You explain where you were coming from. Okay, I'm sorry for reacting that way. I'm sorry for reacting that way. Done. Like, it's the most diplomatic resolution of any argument I've ever had.
Briefcases when you go in to resolve your arguments, the documents, and lay them all out.
I've seen Trevor deal with like work arguments.
Yeah.
Because, wrangling achievement hunter, not easy. And he's always like, he's so diplomatic.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you handled Ryan pretty well just then.
Both of us are a little more diplomatic in our way of handling things, which works out really well for us. But it's also, and I think I talked about this on Always Open, that either comes out today or next week. But I had a tendency in other relationships, if I was in an argument, to like storm off or go to another room or like, I'm going to go for a walk or whatever it is. Or like if it's at night, like I'm going to go to sleep. But we don't do that. Like we don't leave the room. We don't go to sleep if the argument is still happening. We resolve it before we leave the space. And I think that helps.
Although
it's the one that comes out next week.
Yeah. Oh, you remember. Because Gus was on it.
Yeah, I was on it.
Having a break can cool everyone down though.
Yeah, I think if you're like heated in the moment.
I think, it depends on the situation. And also, this is what works for Trevor and I. Every couple is different. I'm not trying to say that I'm like the expert on it, but I think especially if it's like, maybe if you need to take a moment, come back, but definitely don't go to sleep angry. Because it's going to be harder to remember your point of view the next day and explain how you were feeling.
Devin's been in the wood shop this whole week. And so anytime he comes home, I'm like super hyper and I act like a 5-year-old child and I jump all over him because I'm like, okay, now we get to play. Yeah. And because I haven't been with anybody all day. So and then I have energy until like 1 a.m. just wanting to play with him. And poor guy, he has a lot of patience because I'm a handful at that time. Just like, let's play, let's jump around. Like last night it was awful. Like it was like 11:30. It was like 11:30 and he was just kind of like getting ready to go to sleep. And then I just like jump on the bed. It was just, I don't know. I got to figure it out because my routine is like disrupted, and
maybe
my energy is off.
Of drugs.
I just need a ton of drugs.
Maybe.
Perhaps. Does anybody have any?
Or maybe Devin does.
Yeah, Devin does to deal with me.
What do people do about drugs in this situation? Do drug dealers still operate?
Good
That's
question,
an interesting
dude.
question. Hey, if there are any drug dealers in the chat, can
Yeah,
you tell
let us know.
I mean, dead drops,
How's business
right?
going?
I don't know how that happens.
That's a good question.
Like, leave the money on the porch. I'll leave the drugs on the porch. Like, how does that... Venmo, maybe?
If anyone knows, call your local police department.
Someone using like a Ring doorbell. Like, put the drugs on the doormat, please.
Yeah.
the money's under the mat. Thank you.
I mean, put the food delivery right there.
Wink.
Sir.
Have you guys been like more tired, less tired during this time because like you're at home all day and not using as much energy?
I've been keeping the same schedule. So like I'm still going to bed at the same time, still waking up at the same time. But this is going to sound so pathetic. I'm almost ashamed to admit this. Last night, I got up off my couch to go to bed, and I was like, oh, why are my legs kind of sore? And like that scene in The Matrix when Neo comes out of the goo, and they're like, you've never used your eyes before. Like, I sat down playing Animal Crossing all weekend and didn't move, that I think I started atrophying into my couch. So I stood up, and I was like, this kind of hurts.
Your muscle mass just decreasing as you play that game.
Oh my God. Are you drinking enough water?
Yes. My pee looked a healthy color. So
okay,
yes.
Good.
I think I'm going to resort to playing Animal Crossing exclusively on the treadmill.
Oh, that's smart.
And I won't feel like such a waste of space when I'm walking around weeding for an hour and a half.
So I had a thought.
Don't talk about your drug use on this podcast.
Leave the weed
I've
on
been
the
playing
mat.
so much Animal Crossing. Well, a big part of the game is fishing. And I've been catching a lot of flounders. And, flounders like the fish that have both their eyes on one side of their body. And I was staring at these fucking flounders, and I started wondering. I started thinking about flounders. Like I'm so into this game. Like, were flounders just like at one point were they regular fish that just got lazy and they decided to lay down, and like this whole like species of fish was so lazy that it became easier for them to move their eyes to the other side of the body.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been natural selection, right? So the fish with the eye further would live longer and mate with other,
Right.
to the point where the eye just moves over time. It's weird.
It's really weird.
Where's the other eye?
And then they're both on that one side.
Okay, so they're just next to each other on
Right.
that side.
So then,
Are they like left-eyed fish and right-eyed fish?
but they can't see on the other side of their body.
Correct.
That's terrifying to not be able
But that's
to.
why they lay down. But they're lazy, so it's good.
Why
It's
is it
like
terrifying? You can't
can only
see on the
from one
back of your head.
You're right. You're right.
If you had one eye
Point
here
taken.
and one eye here, I would say that's more terrifying.
Yeah,
That'd be so cool, though.
but cool.
I'd be staring at the back of the fucking chair right now. That'd be super boring.
But I think if we had an eye here and an eye here, things would be different. We wouldn't have chairs with backs. Things would just be different. Hey, you
The
guys.
chair industry would be flipped on its head.
We only
Literally.
have stools.
Yeah, maybe stools
Right.
or something where a chair back ends here, not covering
Beanies.
the other eye.
Yeah, you just lay back
Beanies
and
would
you
be
go,
shit.
Yeah, beanies would just be
But
like,
then what if like even so, what if your body wouldn't sit this way, right? Like we're focused in this direction because
That's
that's how our
true.
eyes look. Like we'd
That's
have a
true.
more universal
Yeah.
appearance to our body. Like we
Yeah.
could move in any direction, almost like an octopus where you got like
Yeah.
you could go in any direction.
I had
Are we stoned? What the fuck are we talking about?
we have whatever Chris had last week. It's infected all of us.
I've been making content recently for a VR headset, and I'm doing all my reviews in headset, like proofing them, making sure like that it's like VR 180 but with 3D slow-mo. And there was an error on one of the exports where we had this lower third come up. It was just like saying our names, but it was only visible in one eye,
Oh, weird.
and it's the most bizarre feeling I've ever experienced. My brain did not know what the Christ was happening.
Right? Like how would that ever happen in real life?
Where it was just like my brain was like it was like flickering on and off because it was like, which eye is my brain
Cannot
using?
compute.
Yeah, so I was like, what is happening with this? Why does this look and then I closed one eye. I was like, oh, it's gone in this eye, but I can see it in this eye. And then I thought that would be brilliant for like a VR horror movie to put the ghost or the monster only in one eye so that your brain is like
Dude,
tripping
yeah.
it all around. It'd be awesome. It'd be so spooky.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate that.
that's awful, but great at the same time.
Someone
Yeah,
in chat
it's-
said you wouldn't be able to wear hoodies.
True.
Yeah, that
sorry.
is true.
Hoodies would just come up on the side.
What if you could have an item in the real world that was like left-eyed or right-eyed only? Like if we could have something that existed, it's like, oh, you can only see that in your left eye, or you can only see that in your right eye.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
Right? Because like that's why your brain doesn't know how to deal with it, because that doesn't exist in the physical world.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucked. It made me want to throw up. I was just like, oh, I don't know what. I hate looking at this.
Yeah, like there is this actual real object, but only your left or right eye can pick it up. That's so weird.
I don't like
You
it.
did smoke weed before this, Gus, didn't you?
There's nothing else to do.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think I wonder if dispensaries are still open in places like California where it's legal.
I mean,
Because
it's an
technically
essential business.
Technically, it's medicinal
medical,
for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
like arthritis and stuff.
They'd probably be considered like a pharmacy, I would assume.
Probably.
My friend works at a dispensary, and she said that they're still open currently right now. Their hours are getting cut. They're not working like their typical hours, but
Yeah.
they are still open. Especially during this time, people anxieties are like extremely high. Shit,
Yeah.
I'd be in there.
Does anyone have? I tweeted about this the other day. Does anyone have like a go-to snack that they find themselves just like eating nonstop now that you're like
Everything.
at your house?
When I'm-
Everything.
That's my problem with working from home is when I'm bored or like trying to think through something, I'll eat. And like because I've been trying to buy things that aren't necessarily perishable as quickly, so I don't have a lot of necessarily like fresh fruit and vegetables at home. I'll just eat. Oreos are
Barb, you know, Oreos are
my favorite.
my Oreos.
Oreos are vegan.
Oreos are so good. Trevor and I have gone through 2 sleeves already.
Yeah, dude, just pure empty calories. You
The-
just keep eating them.
It's like the plain Oreo, not any of the flavored ones.
I just like the plain,
Me
not
too.
double stuffed, not
I like the
thin.
thin
here.
ones.
The thin ones are good.
I just like normal Oreos. They're just the best.
Yeah.
Devin
Well-
likes double stuffed, and then we'll fight. That's when we fight. Is when he brings home double stuff when I ask for Oreos.
We'll just get both.
Can't you just take out half the stuff?
That's a
All right,
waste.
Gavin. All evening. Even just
What you could do is you squish it and then let the white stuff come out the side.
then
and
rim around
And get
it.
one of those like
Yeah,
palette
then you're
knives and-
rimming.
Then you rim it, get the excess.
You should make Devin de-stuff it since it was his fault.
Jeez.
Is that on the list of things not to do from New York City?
Do not de-stuff your partner.
Just rim them.
For people like that are reading these sex guidelines, if they're just like, man, but I really love rimming, I have a rimming fetish. It's just like, here, let's give you some alternatives.
Here's some Oreos.
De-stuff these Oreos.
Yeah. And
Not the same.
What would be a good alternative to rimming? Like, what would you come up with?
Okay.
going to therapy maybe would be a good.
What?
If you have to have rimming in your life to be
I
okay.
don't have to do anything, but what?
But I thought you're like, what's an alternative if you got to get your rimming in and you can't?
Not like you're a smack at it. Oh, come on, go get off the rims. No, I'm just talking like.
Oh God.
Oh, it's like sexual. What else could you do, or like what's an action you could do that's like rimming?
Well, you could just get a piece of fruit and cut a hole in it if they really need
You can put
that.
some peanut butter in there.
Yeah.
Why? The joy of rimming surely doesn't come from the paste.
I'm just trying to be gross.
Oh,
Man,
good job, Gus.
Jeremy's character Rimmy Tim is looking
dear.
real different right now.
Oh man.
I'm gonna start drinking alcohol today.
There you go.
Cool.
Did you see that Netflix is slowing down, or they're like, what's the best way to put it? They're lowering their streaming quality in Europe to try to save on internet bandwidth.
No.
Like for 30 days, they're going to reduce it so that movies are not in HD, I believe.
Oof.
Is that oof?
Well, I like get it, but like when you're stuck at home, like the one thing you have is your entertainment to keep you sane. For some people, not everyone.
You can still watch it though.
Oh, they're just cutting bit rates. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So the bit rate's just going down.
It's not it's not the end of the world, but for like the few luxuries you have to be reduced slightly, I could see it being a little annoying for some people.
I watch so much on my phone that I feel like I wouldn't care. I don't know why I watch so much. A lot of the time, I'll find myself just lying on the floor in front of my TV, watching something on my phone. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? There's a massive TV right there.
But is your TV also on playing something and you're also oh, okay.
I'm just on the floor. I'm just on the rug.
The other day, I found myself doing something really stupid. I was watching a YouTube video on my laptop, and I was like, oh, I should be watching this on my TV. So I airplayed it to my TV, and I was like, this doesn't look very good. I should just be playing it on my TV.
Because
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like streaming it here
As
and
an
then
airplane, yeah.
and then airplaying it there. I was like, nah, it's fine.
is that what AirPlay does? Does it feed from the device you cast from, or does it just go and fetch that URL?
I think in this case, it
feeds.
It fed from the device because it definitely did not look
Yeah.
as good as it should have looked.
Do you guys
Maybe
watch?
I'm wrong, but maybe it was just a weird coincidence. But it definitely looked bad that day.
Do you guys watch the YouTube channel? It's called In a Nutshell, but it's I think in German word like Kyrgyzstat or something.
Kyrgyzstan.
No, I don't think it's Kyrgyzstan. I think it's Kyrgyzstat or something. But it's called In a Nutshell. They have these animated informational videos that they do that are fantastic. It's like
Is this the one about the
it's like a British
gratitude?
practicing gratitude. Yeah, it's the same people. They did one about the coronavirus recently.
Kurzgesagt.
Yeah, I can never pronounce it. It's In a Nutshell. But they have a video that they did on the coronavirus that is beautifully informative and very clear and concise, but also I think gives a lot of clarity to things that people have been wondering about. So if you're watching this podcast, I highly suggest go checking it out.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'm looking it up right now, so I can watch it later.
Yeah.
Do you have a date in mind that you're mentally prepared for this to last for? Like, are you mentally prepared for this to last a year?
I thought you were going to
18 months?
ask, like, do you have a date in mind of when your mental state will collapse because
That's
of all
like
this?
next week.
Okay.
For me.
I'm trying to mentally prepare for this to last in some capacity for a year. Not necessarily to this extent, but I feel like things might ebb and flow a little bit. Like, I think things will be this way for a bit. It might loosen up for a while and then go back to being tight again.
For me, the date I'm picturing right now is May 1st. I want to get through the rest of March. I want to get through the whole month of April and then see
That seems so optimistic.
what we look like. I'm not saying I think it'll be subsided by then. I think that we'll have a better idea at that point. I just want to get through this month. I want to get through the next month and then see what does the world look like on May 1st. And then we can make a determination. Because, we had a lot of problems here, obviously, in the United States with a lack of testing. So we really don't know how widespread it is. And I think by then we'll have enough empirical data where you can, data, you can draw the line. And you'll definitely have a couple of decent weeks of data to draw trends from and know how it's going.
I think the thing that keeps me from thinking it's going to be over soon is knowing the amount of time it takes to develop a vaccine and treatment, essentially, or anything for it.
Which is like a year to 18 months, right?
A year to 18 months just because of trials and testing and stuff like that to make sure
I can't believe they're already
safe.
at the point where they've given it to people.
They tried one, yeah.
And I was actually talking to my parents about it, and my dad had mentioned that they're actually very much ahead in terms of a typical vaccine for this. And it's looking somewhat promising that they'll get to a solution soon, maybe a little bit earlier than they're anticipating. But I think, honestly, realistically, I think we're in this for at least 6 months.
Thank Christ for all these people.
I know.
Dude, right?
Absolutely.
We'd be just dead
Yeah.
as a species if people didn't go into the medical field.
Thank goodness for smart people.
Yeah.
Even when I go to HEB, I'm just like, thank you guys so much. Just being here and helping us.
HEB has been an amazing machine.
They
in this
really
time.
have.
That's a local grocery store to Texas, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
For
that's
the
true.
kids
It's not everywhere.
In making sure that they restock, and so people are still kind of panic buying and hoarding, but it's every day it's refreshed and there's new
They
stuff.
communicate clearly.
Yeah. They've. I was in line to pick up some medicine from the pharmacy the other day, and even before there was mandated separation, they had put markers down on the floor, when you're waiting in line, wait here, and everything was spaced apart. I think everything they've done's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Blaine was there recently too, and he said the lines look a lot more daunting than they are because of that space between. And they've been good about an employee coming out and saying you guys are too close together, separate yourself, and putting markers on the ground to make sure everyone, and only allowing a certain amount of people in the store at a time as well, which I think is good.
Did you guys see that picture of the nurses and doctors over in Italy? Whenever they take their masks off, their faces are
Oh yeah.
Because they've been wearing them so long.
bruised. Yeah. Oop,
Yeah,
yikes.
well, they wear them all day, every day.
Yeah, I just was like, man, I just wish I could have reached through and been thank you so much.
Just don't touch them.
Yeah, but don't touch them. But just no.
Yeah,
I'm thankful.
I think we all need to give a shout out to healthcare providers, staff at grocery stores and pharmacies, people who are doing deliveries, anybody who has to be at work for these crucial things, restocking things, working in the food industry at all. So many people just thank you for what you're doing, because
Warehouse
taking
people.
care of all of us.
you're essentially
literally
taking care of the entire world right now.
Absolutely.
While we sit on our butts recording a podcast.
Yeah.
We're helping.
I hope so.
By talking about it nonstop.
Okay, I saw in chat too, by the way, sorry to interrupt, that Phil DeFranco apparently has a really good video about the vaccine and some information if people want to check that out. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not endorsing it, but apparently it's a very informative video.
But what's crazy to me is how quickly all of this happened and how quickly things changed.
Yeah.
There's that clip that people started sharing of me last week when I was joking about coronavirus on this podcast.
That was early February?
It was February 10th. And obviously at the time, didn't have all the information, didn't realize how serious it was going to be. And people keep asking, or some people ask, how could you joke like that? It's one, we always make jokes about stuff. Two, I didn't know, I don't think anybody potentially knew how big it was going to be by then.
We didn't know half
of
the stuff.
Most of the world was joking about it. In
Right.
that
Yeah,
sense.
we had no idea then.
Nobody knew the extent.
For context, I looked it up. South by Southwest wasn't canceled until March 6th, which is almost a month later.
Yeah.
It's we had no fucking idea what was happening. And it's definitely a big one that I missed and I woofed on. But we're not going to delete that video.
Everyone was woofing on it.
Right. I don't want
That was the reaction.
Right. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to hide it.
right.
I know, I fully acknowledge I was wrong on that. So, but I don't want to
Well, it's
try
also
to delete it off the
hindsight
internet.
is 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
We say and do things all the time that in that moment we're reacting appropriately for what we think the situation is, and based off the reaction of the world and what we know.
I think it's interesting. It's interesting historical documents that you can then, it's this week we're making fun of it. This week we were like,
Oh, fuck.
man, that thing's kicking off. Next week we're at home recording. It's that's crazy, that progression.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I don't think we should remove that.
Yeah. So Yeah, I know I was wrong.
I just like, obviously looking back on it, you could give it a woof
Right.
and say like, yikes.
That's cringy.
But that was the mindset of most people at the time, not taking it as seriously as we all knew because we didn't know how serious it was at the time.
Yeah.
You know who was on top of it though? Was Bernie Burns. He was tweeting like he was like, guys, China, look at China.
Yeah.
Like ages before.
I mentioned it to Trevor, I think in not early, probably mid to late January. I was like, I don't know if like this coronavirus thing, if it's something like we should be concerned about.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little freaked out. Like it's spreading pretty fast there. And like, we kind of just brushed it off. But it's crazy to think about that
Yeah.
thought in my head at
Yeah.
that time to now.
Did you see the TED talk that Bill Gates gave when Ebola
Yes.
was happening?
Yeah. That was
About
like in
pandemics?
2015 or
Yeah.
2016. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
That was crazy.
I didn't.
he just talks about how like at the time he was talking about how the next big catastrophe isn't going to be like a nuclear war. He said, I think what he showed was like a picture of like a nuclear detonation. It's like, the next big apocalypse isn't going to look like this. It's going to look like this. It's
It
a
was
virus.
basically like we shouldn't be spending money on
nuclear deterrent. And
those kind
weapons.
of like military deterrents and stuff. It should be, biological defense. And damn, that is absolutely correct.
Right. And someone also, I think, shared a video of Brandon on the podcast talking about how like the next big thing that's going to like shake up society is some pandemic or some virus or something like that. It's crazy how.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this isn't like out of nowhere though. Like this, historically, plagues and shit have decimated numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this will prepare us for a zombie apocalypse?
No, I'm gonna say no, just because I still don't understand why people are hoarding toilet paper. People fixate on weird things.
Do you know why people are hoarding toilet paper?
So they can rim?
No.
Hey, good callback. Hey.
Gotta make sure the butthole's extra clean.
People are hoarding toilet paper because someone somewhere, or maybe a few people, took pictures in places where some toilet paper was out of stock. So when you have the mindset of, oh, people are buying this, I should probably get some too to be safe. If everyone thinks that way, people will go out and buy toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is it still going on?
Because
it's been weeks.
People
It's
have
been
this
weeks.
mentality that this, for some reason, is going out of stock or that, like, you need this because everyone else is posting about how
let me tell
people
you
are
something.
taking it.
All this has taught me, I really need a lot less toilet paper than I thought I did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't need nearly as many squares as I thought I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Are
could
you
do
rationing on your ass?
So yeah, I think that right now the toilet paper industry is going to make a lot of money, but then people are going to realize like, oh, I don't need as much as I thought I did, and then there's going to be like a
No one's
correction.
gonna buy toilet paper for ages because it got
Right.
too much.
Yeah.
We could do a video about how, like, after you shit and you don't have toilet paper, you could just go into the shower, spread your ass cheeks, and then do it that way. But I don't
I
think
love the way you talk.
people, but they don't understand that.
You're so straight faced, but then you say obscene things, and it's a magical combination.
That's why Jessica's amazing.
Yeah, if I had that bidet in Animal Crossing, I wouldn't have to worry about this.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
amazing how much. Well, because I bought toilet paper
Good.
in like 2016. I bought like 100 rolls of toilet paper, or 120 or something. Wait,
what?
And I'm still using them.
Yeah.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I'm going to buy stuff that
Where did you put them for years?
I had a cabinet. I had upstairs bathroom cabinet that didn't have anything in it, and I was like, it's a waste of damn space. I'm going to fill it with toilet paper.
So I'll never have to get it again.
There you go.
Wow.
And
Now you're prepared.
accidentally prepared. It was funny at the time, but now 4 years later, I've still not got through all that.
And it's very serious now.
Yeah.
I saw some funny post about how like I've seen a lot of these things, these memes about like what I thought the apocalypse would look like or be like versus what it is. People are calling this the apocalypse, which
Right.
it's not, but the joke is still there. And it's like pictures of like Charlize Theron from Mad Max and like everyone looks all badass and like grungy. And then it's like what it actually is, me sitting on the toilet watching YouTube videos using a coffee filter as toilet paper.
Oh man, that's so true. Oh god.
So if you've hopped into the shower and you're spreading cheeks, are you then just like going in with your hands, like splashing that all through?
No, you're letting the water do the job. Hopefully you
I
got
don't know
okay
how
water
you don't
pressure.
get it to go down the back of your legs if you do that. It doesn't just fall off your ass onto the floor.
I mean, it might, but then that's when after you've done that, then you wash yourself with some soap.
So as long as you wash from, top to bottom.
I've never done this before. I always have been somewhat clean after going poop before I go in the shower. But I pee in the shower.
Sure, me too.
And you guys always talk about it's going down your leg.
But then, I know, they do. It's so weird. But then
But
it's
here's
just
the thing, I get it. You're in the shower, you're getting clean. But if I have, if I have poo on my hand. I'm just an example. If I accidentally get poo on my hand during, a botched wipe.
Ew.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
ew, it's disgusting. Even though I can wash it off.
Yeah.
It's still unpleasant to have fecal particles and other waste on places where it doesn't usually
But I'm
go.
talking about pee.
Yeah,
particularly.
Okay. I'm not. I know
we'll
you're not
circle back to
taking
that in a
dumps the
second. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. With pee in the shower, though.
Yeah.
It's going down. The water's going down, too. You don't really feel it on you because the second it's on you, it's off of you.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else
And
to
then you
describe
just
it.
wash your body with soap after.
And for you guys, it'd be
wouldn't even
even
touch, yeah.
easier because you got a fucking hose.
You got a hose, and you can maneuver that hose anywhere
Wait, we
you
can
want.
do that?
Tell us more. Mansplain penises to us, please.
Well, you could ring your girl with it.
Is that mansplaining at some point?
Probably.
With the poop thing. Gavin.
Thanks for coming back to it, Jessica.
I told you I would. I keep my promises. Okay. What you could do is you stretch. You do a 90-degree angle.
Go up. Okay.
Shower head.
Wait, which part is which?
Your head's this way. You're bending down. So butt.
I don't know
here.
what you're doing with your hands. Wait, so where's my head?
All right, so this is the shower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shower head's right here.
And your hand is you?
Which is the shower? Okay.
This is you. Okay, right here.
Fingertips are your head.
Yeah, so then say you go backwards, so butt's right here. So,
Why would you bend that way?
Head,
Yeah.
head, butt, shower. So it's just like, shh. And you don't have to touch anything. You just grab your ass cheeks, spread them, it comes down, okay?
I think you're putting a lot of faith in the water doing all the work there.
How bad are your shits? Are they pretty bad?
No.
Okay, well then this shouldn't be an issue. And then you just
That's how I wash my butt.
yeah,
on a normal
you have
day.
to wash your butt. Do you wash your butt?
That's a whole... People
Oh,
are definitely
no.
sick of that conversation.
I don't want to get back into karate chops.
I don't either. I'm going to stop that.
Well, when you're out of toilet
Chop.
paper, you're gonna be karate chopping your asshole to wipe it from now.
I think just try it, Gavin. You'll figure it out. I know you will. I believe in you.
It's
During
fine in
this
theory, but I
quarantine-
can't verify that it's done a good job. I can't, am I going to squat in front of a mirror to make sure it's done?
During this quarantine, I challenge both of you to pee in the shower just once.
Do it, coward.
I'll give it a go.
We should you should
tell
come
me
up with
how
like
you
a
feel.
catchy name, and then we can do it, and then we can tag other people, and they can do it
Oh,
online.
and they could do it too, like the fucking push-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I got tagged so many fucking times on Instagram. First by trainer Kelly tagged me,
my
so I did
God.
it then. But then people were still tagging me. I'm just like, watch my story. I've already done it.
I've
No,
only done it for Kelly. That's
surprisingly, no one tagged me.
it. Do you want to be tagged?
No, I
Gavin?
don't.
Duly noted,
Okay.
Gus.
I think it's because we knew you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
How many push-ups could you do?
Me? Probably like 50 or 60.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just knock them out.
How many could you do, Gavin?
Not very many.
Fair enough.
I don't know. 20 or less.
I ended up doing like fucking 40 yesterday
Yeah.
because I would like film it and then like that angle's weird. Let me do it again.
Oh my God.
And I did it 4 times before I got the right angle on it. And then I'm like, my arms were fucking shaking at that
Now
point.
you're
So I'm
sore.
like, 38.
Gotta work
But then
on
you end
it.
up looking really weak. It's like, you didn't just do 10 push-ups, you did 40.
I know.
You only showed the last 30 to 40, or the 30 to 40 push-ups.
Oh well.
Oh, well.
And then there was the plank one that was going around. I was like, why are we all exercising and filming it with each other?
A friend of mine tagged me to do this like yoga move where your arms are on the ground and you put your knees up on your elbows and like hang there essentially.
What's that called? I suppose. Forget.
I'm the wrong person to ask. Never
I
done
mean, I
yoga.
have no idea.
But I'm like, bro, I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't either.
I could try and fail.
Does Gus still not shower before bed? Is that a thing that you've discussed?
I don't know if we must have discussed it. I'm a morning shower person.
Oh.
I prefer a morning shower.
Tackle the day all fresh?
I think a lot of people are split on that. Yeah. I feel like I just like it more.
I used to be a night shower. Now I'm a morning shower.
I don't want to expose you guys to me with an extra 8 hours of stink on me.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really for you guys.
You're a man of the people.
I really am. So when I went to the grocery store this morning, I went like before I took a shower, and I came home and just like decontaminated myself.
Yeah.
I got in a really hot shower and just fucking scrubbed everywhere, including my butt.
Yeah,
There
wash
you
your
go.
hands when you go in and out of places. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Anytime I go into a new place or leave place, I wash my hands, essentially.
When I get back into my car, I have hand sanitizer, and I immediately and my steering wheel, because I'm like, I've been touching that.
Me too. I've been like, I got some of those disinfectant wipes and like wiped a bunch of stuff down in my car.
I touch more than I ever thought I did.
I've been doing my wallet.
I did too.
Yeah, and my phone.
I've been using Apple Pay a lot more. It's like then I don't have to grab my wallet or have to pull a credit card out. It's like I'm already touching my phone. It's like just do contactless.
That's smart.
Yeah.
When I went to the grocery store this morning, I wore latex gloves.
And you threw them out after, I assume?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to try to be as careful as possible. I mean, but there's only so much you can do, right? It's like I feel like a lot of the news is overwhelming. You feel like there's all this shit you can't control. It's like all you can do is like control the things that are within your power.
Yeah.
Like wash your hands, don't touch your face, just be very aware. You like maintain distance with people. It's like you don't have to worry about the big picture. All your responsibility is the shit you can control, which is what's right in front of you. It's like wash your hands, don't touch your face,
And stay at home.
stay home, stay away from other people. Like I know it's tempting. You see, it's like, oh, the streets are empty, or maybe it's like I can go down to this restaurant and hang out with people for a little while.
There's nothing open, so there's really.
But in some places, there are still places. In some places, there are still things open. Like not in Austin. I'm
Okay.
talking about like in other cities or other countries. Like just stay home, hang out
I saw
for a bit.
something, I think it was on Instagram, someone posted this thing where they were talking about how the term social distancing it's a new term. People don't necessarily know what it means. And ultimately it's stay home and go to the grocery store once a week or as needed. That's it. Like that's what social distancing is.
Yeah, like I've been living this life for years. So it's like if you want any advice, just imagine if you're out in public and you don't know what to do, just imagine what would Gus do. Just think, I'm in this situation. I don't know how to handle it. What would Gus do? He would avoid everyone and then you'd go wash his hands. You're set.
Yep.
Let's call this episode that. What would Gus do?
WWGD.
WWGD.
What would Gus do? And then hard cut to you 3 weeks ago, or whatever. Like,
Way more than 3 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Are there any restrictions on using cash? Apparently some places in Canada are no longer accepting cash.
Oh, really?
Because like that could
know.
sense.
Maybe this will be the death of cash.
Although cash is paper, so it probably wouldn't hold on to it as well.
Still, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at one time, I've told this story before. I was at an event years ago, and someone paid me with a sweaty $20 bill they pulled out of their sock.
Ew.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You don't remember that? I was at an event in California with Jeff, and we were running the booth, and someone wanted to buy a T-shirt. So I told him it was $20, and I was only half paying attention to them. I was getting their shirt and putting it in a bag for them, and they pulled a $20 bill out of their sock, and they handed it to me, and it was like sopping wet. And I remember they handed it to me, and I touched it, and I just dropped it, and I looked at them, and I said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" We had hand sanitizer. I started using the hand sanitizer, and I ran to the bathroom to wash my hands.
Okay.
It's nasty.
It was really, really gross.
Oh.
Do you think
You must have hated that.
Yeah, I mean,
You must have been
I
livid.
used so much hand sanitizer, and then like I turned the hot water on in the bathroom. It was like I was scalding my hands to try to burn everything off of them.
Ew.
Do you
disgusting.
guys think when this is all said and done, we come out of this, whether it's a couple months from now, a year from now, whatever it is, it's going to be weird to like go to restaurants and clubs and hug people and shake hands? Do you think it's going to be weird?
A lot of that stuff's weird anyway. We just accept it.
But it's not weird because it's part of society.
I'm at
Maybe
the
it's
point
weird
where
for
I'm
you,
watching
Gus.
films and a bunch of people hanging out. I'm like,
Don't do that.
slightly uneasy.
Me
because of it.
too.
It's
Yeah.
so weird.
I'm watching
Yeah,
The
it's gonna-
Leftovers, and I saw him go to a grocery store with a bunch of people and hug it, and I was like, "That's not right. You shouldn't be doing that."
Yeah, it's going to take some getting used to for me to return to
Yeah, absolutely.
normality
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
November
think it
2021.
Whenever it is. I just
God.
we already talked about it. We bank shot a bunch of videos like RT Life and Hard Mode for the Rooster Teeth channel. And we're having our editors put up things at the beginning
Like
of
disclaimers?
disclaimers at the beginning saying like, this was shot a few weeks ago before this started getting really bad. Like, don't think that we are saying that this is okay. We had some things where we were being physical with each other and like touching each other.
A lot
And
of
so we
touching
wanted
each
to make
other.
sure like to tell the audience This was filmed a long time ago. Don't worry.
One other thing I want to mention real fast. I realized I also stopped wearing that big ring that I normally wear on this hand.
You did.
Because it has like a lot of little crevices in it, and I was worried that like I couldn't clean it effectively.
Ooh, I've heard we should stop wearing jewelry.
Yeah, so it's like I decided like I took it off and I was like, I'm not going to wear this again until like I know that all of this is past.
Probably also keep your nails somewhat shorter.
Yeah, no nail polish and everything. I haven't
like
been...
crazy.
I wonder what it's going to look like when we all come out of this quarantine. And I said this on Twitter, but like everyone's hair is growing back out.
Yeah.
People who get like the eyelash extensions are falling out. People's nails are all fucked up.
And Gus will look as good as ever.
Yeah.
Gus is going to look great.
I needed a haircut long before this started. I'm gonna be a shaggy mess.
Yeah. What about all the people that like get Botox and like get their fillers done and stuff? If they can't do that for a long time, what will they look like?
Old.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Human. They're going to look human again.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's about time to wrap this up.
Funhouse is streaming after this.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I believe so. So if you're in the chat right now on RTTV, I think stick around for Funhouse. I think they're going live.
So this is goodbye to the set for a bit.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of sad.
It is a little bit sad.
But we'll still be doing podcasts, so tune in next Monday and come experience something totally new with us. All right. See y'all next time.
We love you. Stay safe.
Bye.